Logan Paul is suing me for CryptoZoo only a year after he thanked me for it. Rather than pay back his victims fully, Logan would rather publicly humiliate himself in court by accusing me of defaming him. He's hired 5 lawyers to sue me, which he hopes
sounds about right.
will stop me from exposing him again. You see,
Chat, lawyers are not cheap. If he's hiring good lawyers, they are probably like $300 to $400 an hour, if not more, per person. That's a lot of dosh, chat.
Hours before this lawsuit was filed, I had reached out to Logan Paul about a new investigation into one of his companies, which has just been accused by the Canadian government of being a multi-layered fraud in Canada. I obviously had
that's
questions,
crazy.
But before I was able to get answers, Logan's team of lawyers showed up to silence me. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to go through this lawsuit. I'm going to tell you how to support us if you want, because while I didn't think I'd need help, I was wrong. But before we get to my mistake, let's start with Logan's.
I still can't believe this guy used to be just a YouTuber and then he just got into crypto scamming. Pumping and dumping people for money. He could have just kept going with the YouTube videos and people would have made fun of him for making like stupid content, but at least he'd be like an honest, like stupid content creator.
This lawsuit is not about Logan Paul getting defamed. Instead, this is about him trying to dodge accountability, victims, and blame anyone but himself for his problems.
Classic.
Especially me. This lawsuit says Logan Paul wants to hold me accountable for my actions.
But you're the one that scammed people and the only thing that CoffeeZilla did was expose you? Sounds reasonable. I'm sure he's gonna win.
But what actions are those? Holding him accountable? It's ironic because his lawyers claim Logan has learned to believe in the importance of accountability. But accountability for who? Currently, Logan is fighting the victims of CryptoZoo in court, and now he's fighting the journalist who exposed him in the first place. Personally, I believe Logan has learned nothing from this except how to silence people with the law. But I won't be silenced because Logan's lawsuit may—
I have a question. Did Logan Paul come from money? I think they did. They were like a rich family before they even did YouTube. Definitely an ego problem and a stupidity problem. They did, yes, yeah. This tracks.
Makes no sense. We're going to go through it because from the beginning, there's problems. Logan's 5 lawyers tried to discredit me as a journalist. They paint me as
internet detective. They make it sound like it's a bad thing. Internet detectives are actually unironically better than most detectives in real life and journalists in real life.
Someone who wanted money. They say I had a false and malicious narrative. But you know who doesn't believe that? You know who secretly praises me behind the scenes?
This journalist, YouTuber, crypto uncoverer guy named CoffeeZilla, who's incredible, by the way. A very thorough, good-hearted, smart guy.
So you're gonna sue him and ruin his life? I can't imagine that CoffeeZilla makes enough money to fight off 5 lawyers that cost up to like $2,000 an hour. Like, I mean, I guess you can respect your enemies. I don't know. You can respect your enemies.
Did a deep dive into this project that I attempted to make called CryptoZoo.
That's right. It's Logan Paul. He's the biggest enemy of Logan Paul's defamation case. Who knew? Because defamation requires actual malice and a reckless disregard for the truth. But he just admitted on camera that I am thorough and good-hearted. Maybe that's why he wanted to remove that video from the internet, according to—
Oh no! He's doing the Mr. Beast thing! Delete it! Delete it all!
the YouTuber who released it.
The only issue that was ever communicated was remove this crypto stuff, remove this CryptoZoo stuff. If CryptoZoo is in there, if CoffeeZilla's in there, I'm not going to promote it.
Yeah, remove that crypto.
His freaking mouth shut like a fish. Oh. Oops.
CryptoZoo stuff, that CoffeeZilla stuff, doesn't look good when you compliment the guy you're trying to sue. Maybe that's why Logan isn't even suing me for my original investigation at all, despite most of this lawsuit being a ridiculous fanfic about how I took Logan out of context, that Logan was a victim, that I withheld text messages. Logan isn't suing me for any of the original investigation, though, because he knows he can't. Instead, at the end of the lawsuit, we find what my defamation really is. I'm being sued for 2 videos and 1 tweet where I advocated for refunds for the
Man, I hope he dumps money and loses. This is such karma.
victims. Yes, you heard me right. Logan Paul sued me after I tried to get his fans, the CryptoZoo investors, a full refund. Remember, there are 2 parts to CryptoZoo, the NFTs and the Zoo tokens.
Doesn't that make him look worse in court, though? That he's, like, fighting off the fact that he doesn't want to give off refunds to them? Like, come on.
And Logan chose only to refund the NFTs, which is a minority of the losses, and I had a major problem with that. I told Logan this. I've stated over and over my opinion that it is disappointing for someone as rich as Logan to not make things fully right, and instead only pay back a small part of the losses while fighting the rest of the victims in court. And it's those videos and tweet where I ask for refunds, which I'm being sued for. The first video in question is about Logan Paul not paying out refunds for 6 months. The second video was about Logan's partial refund, having a clause to make sure you couldn't sue him for the rest of your refund. And the tweet, I simply said, Logan's the type of guy to thank you for exposing a scam and block you.
Didn't Logan Paul also have a website dedicated to, like, if he gives you like $200, you have no right to sue him? That's a really classic case that people do to avoid refunds and lawsuits. I think he did that.
When you remind him to pay up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, now he's the type of guy to then sue you. Now, I'm sure Logan doesn't like it when I say things like Logan's victims or Logan's scam, but I have a question. If they're not Logan's victims, whose victims are they? Even Logan...
They're a victim of being stupid. Duh. They parted with their money. It's not my fault they're stupid.
Logan admits they are victims. He told me via text, just thought we had the same goal of helping victims instead of a divisive social media war. So he agrees people have been wronged by his game. You know, the thing that he said will earn you money.
It's a really fun game that makes you money.
So how are these not Logan's victims? He, of course, would say it's his business partner's fault. But remember, Jake and Eddie have been out of the picture for years. And yet, CryptoZoo hasn't been released, despite Logan constantly promising it, and of course, also threatening to sue me.
We're gonna handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court. By the time this comes out, it'll be done. The game's gonna be made. You're gonna have the opportunity to get your money back if you want. If you don't want to.
Guys, for those that don't know, it was just him using a coin to, like, make a game that would birth different types of rare animals through cryptocurrency that you would put into the game. And then what essentially happened is he pump and dumped a bunch of money and made out millions, while the people that invested like thousands of dollars, they got left high and dry with like nothing. Or like no money at all, essentially. And people felt wrong. Like, look, I'm gonna say it. If you fell for that, you are a little bit stupid. And by a little bit, I mean, why the hell would you invest $80,000 and like invest your retirement fund into this shit and then expect anything good to come out of it? But I don't think that they should just be able to get away with it, you know? Yeah, like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. You can do that in video games. You can scam people in RuneScape for money or World of Warcraft, but that's not real life. This is real life.
Play the game, and I'm gonna take care of the people who made me look like this was a scam perpetrated by me.
Right. Logan wants to sue me and release a finished CryptoZoo game, but he's only done one of those. Since Logan can't blame his partners, Jake and Eddie, for this because they've been out of the picture, do you think he'll take accountability for not launching CryptoZoo?
Hell no.
No. This time, he blames the government. He says releasing CryptoZoo...
If the government wasn't so strict, I would have gotten away with it. Yeah, the government's not going to appreciate that, by the way.
...has too many regulatory hurdles. Maybe they should have thought of that before multi-millions of dollars of zoo tokens and eggs were sold. And now
Yeah.
Logan would rather blame the government than take accountability. Or if you let him keep talking, Logan might rant about internet reporters having too much responsibility.
Oh my god, he's pissed.
These internet journalists, internet investigative reporters have way too much responsibility on their hands that is being mismanaged and wielded in a really inappropriate way.
It's all
You know what's sad is that people actually believe the words coming out of his mouth and they feel bad for him even though he's like a multimillionaire. Yeah, people actually think that he didn't scam people, that they deserved it and stuff. Oh, they're just stupid. They deserve it. Jake Paul really needed his 10th private jet.
honestly funny to watch this guy whine about his problems,
Yeah.
which you can barely hear over what sounds like a private jet.
Yeah!
Which brings me to another problem Logan has. Part of any defamation case is damages and proving someone has harmed your reputation. But isn't Logan richer than ever with Prime? And did he have a...
Hold on, this is another tangent. Isn't he getting sued by the FDA or something for the Prime thing because it has lead in it? Is that real? I read about it a couple of months ago and I'm like, why is this guy getting sued so much? Huh? It has lead? I don't remember what it has in it that's like not approved. I never ever heard about it. It wasn't true. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Logan Paul Prime sued. Drink being sued by bottler for $68 million. Why the US Olympics is suing Logan Paul. This is from a week ago. Wait, he's actually getting sued, chat. He's getting sued. Accusing the company of trademark infringement. Oh, it's not related to, like, health. Oh. Yeah, they're suing him because he's including the words Olympic in his advertisement, so it's misleading, and he's not actually sponsored by the Olympics. Okay, it's unrelated. Okay, never mind.
reputation to harm. His lawsuit shows comments calling Logan a scammer, possibly to suggest he's been hurt by my videos, but you have to have a...
Okay, then don't scam people and people won't call you a scammer. Like, if you're in a scam... Like, for example, I used to scam people and I would flip the auction house and I would take people's money on World of Warcraft. Just through, like, flipping and, like, taking people's money, essentially, out of their wallets. But I didn't deny I was a scammer. I just, like, never logged on the character again, and then nothing happened. Because according to Blizzard, if you scam someone in WoW, they can't do anything about it because you fell for it. You're the stupid one. But that's a video game.
reputation to lose one. And by the time of my reporting in question, Logan Paul was already accused of participating in multiple crypto pump and dump schemes. That article does not reference my work. So Logan had already had a reputation as a scammer before my investigation, at least if you believe their allegations. So this lawsuit from beginning to end is groundless, meritless, frivolous, and Logan knows that because behind the scenes, in clips he didn't want to get out, he's saying I'm thorough and good-hearted. But in
Yeah, this is not gonna hold up in court very well. If he's saying fraud, he should be mad at him and, like, saying he's a liar and that he's a cheater. Or whatever. It's false caffeine content labeling. Oh, so they're getting sued over that. Okay. Thanks for clarifying. I just remember reading about it. I didn't look into it. My streamer's a scammer? Yep, sure I am. I'm a scammer in World of Warcraft, or when I used to play. Sorry! Don't trade me 100,000 gold and expect anything back. I was a demon.
public, he wants to sue me, silence me, and cost me money because that's the one department where we both know he's got me beat. We might have facts. We might even have evidence.
Money.
But he's got all the money and the lawyers. And this is...
That's what's really scummy about, like, suing in any country is that a multi-million-dollar company or a person is always going to try and beat you by sucking your funds dry, essentially. Yeah.
where I have to get to my one embarrassing mistake in all of this. See, my defense against rich people like Logan Paul is media insurance, you know, for frivolous lawsuits. So when I was sued, I immediately called my insurance company to file a claim, so I wouldn't have to pay for it. But they told me they're not going to pay. They're trying to get out of covering us, using lawyers and fine print. It's a long story that I will be explaining on my second channel because insurance underwriting is very boring. But suffice to say, I got Dylan Danist. I may have even gotten scammed. I'm not quite sure. For now, the bottom line is,
that sucks. He's getting hit on both fronts.
we have to fight Logan with our personal funds, which means I need to ask for your support. If you want to help and are able to help, there are 2 ways to contribute to our fight against Logan Paul.
Patreon!
1, you can join our Patreon, which supports the channel. Or you can buy exclusive merch at CoffeeZilla.store,
Oh my
where we just released the
God.
CoffeeZilla defense drop.
Wow.
That's right. Life hands you lawsuits. You get rejected by your insurance. Make merch. So here's the deal. These shirts will be available for pre-order for only the next 14 days. And 100% of profits we make from selling
There's a
them
cat
will
one,
go to this
chat.
lawsuit. If for some weird reason there's money left over, it will be dedicated to future legal costs for this channel. I just want to let you know they're available, and it's a cool way to support the lawsuit while also getting something in return. I didn't want to just set up a GoFundMe. So if you want to do that, just know pre-orders take a few weeks to get done because we make them after you order. And remember, you have
like the cat
14
one.
days. And you can get that at CoffeeZilla.store. I'll link that below. It's CoffeeZilla.store. All right, now we're going
I
to
can't imagine that he has the money to compete with 5 freaking lawyers.
shift gears and talk about the final part of this lawsuit.
Ooh.
Why did Logan Paul sue me now? It's been over a year since he apologized and thanked me.
Thank you, CoffeeZilla. I am very grateful for your work and your investigation. And I mean that. Thank you, bro.
It might seem strange,
Thank you,
but I've got some fun facts for you that may or may not be related. Did you know 6 days before the lawsuit, I had featured Logan Paul in a teaser for a video? Did you know 21 hours before the lawsuit, I had texted Logan for comment? Did you know I told him he had 24 hours to respond, and Logan sued me 3 hours before the deadline? Yep, that's right. Logan's lawyers then threatened me in that lawsuit email that if I report on this new story, Logan might hold me accountable. And Logan's definition of accountability seems to mean he'll sue me, which is why
Accountable for what? Exposing the truth. I just can't, man. Again, you can sue anyone for anything. It's so unfair.
I believe this lawsuit was not designed to win, but to shut me up, to threaten me, using Logan's wealth and a federal court system without anti-slap to send a message. Do not tell that story. Of course, I don't believe that's the only reason I was sued. Clearly, Logan wanted to sue me for a while, but I believe this new investigation played a role in pulling the trigger. Maybe Logan's team will deny this. Maybe they'll say it's coincidence they sued 3 hours before a deadline. Maybe it's coincidence I announced a story about Logan 6 days before, and maybe it's coincidence that Logan's lawyers threatened me about this new story while suing me for the last story that I hadn't discussed in 6 months. But I don't think so. Either way, when someone threatens new reporting in a lawsuit about old reporting, the effect is the same. So, what was this new story? Well, it's partly about a Canadian law enforcement investigation, and it's partly about something I told Logan to help him. Yes, believe it or not, I tried to help Logan Paul.
And now he's suing him.
To explain, we need to go back to when CryptoZoo first got exposed. Logan said he was going to sue me, but got backlash. So he called me to apologize. He said he was wrong and wanted to make things right.
I swear, he just has like PR people that work for him, and he doesn't think about what he says at all, and then he's like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have said that, now it looks really bad.
I made it clear refunds are the absolute right move going forward, and to my surprise, he agreed. 100%, man. We're on the same page. But we weren't. Logan now doesn't use the word refund. He calls this a buyback. But at the time, I need you to understand,
my ass.
I thought Logan was going to announce a full refund. So I began trying to help him. And dare I say, I was even nice to the guy. You can see that I tried to offer people who might be able to trace blockchain damages to refund people. And in the same spirit, I made Logan aware of potential problems at a different company he co-owned, called Liquid Marketplace.
On a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace, it allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one...
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's like timeshares for like physical cards. Except it's worse. It's actually worse.
person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together.
This was a fractionalized collectible
God,
platform where Logan sold things like roughly half of a $5 million Pokemon card. The idea was you could buy tokens that represented partial ownership in rare collectibles. That video, by the way, got 8 million views. And
How is... No, guys, it's not rent a card. It's share a card. You don't even have it physically. You're sharing the cost of a card that costs millions of dollars. It is so... Man, I was gonna use the word. That is so fucking stupid. It's insane. Communism, bro, this... I can't even liken it to that because it's not even like a thing that exists unless you have the physical card.
a lot of people bought into this platform. The problem was, I had heard troubling stories about this company, and I was trying to verify if the claims were true. So I had gone to the CEO, Ryan Bahadori, to ask him questions. But
Hold on. What if, chat? What if I do this kind of thing with VTuber models? And then I own a model, but then people can like share the model between each other and they have to pay me rent. Oh my god. Scamming the viewers? No. Scamming other VTubers. Wow, chat. Wow, what a smart business plan. Can I own a titty? Yeah! But you can also like rent it for certain hours of the day.
he kept dodging meetings. And I don't mean he refused meeting with me. I mean, we would set up meetings and then he did not show up. So I
Classic.
was troubled. And I brought this up to Logan. I figured if he's going to make one company right, make them all right. Otherwise, it might come back to bite him. I mean, can you imagine the disaster if another one of Logan Paul's co-founded companies was discovered to have scammed his fans? Hypothetically, that would be a very bad look. So I'm thinking, while he refunds cryptos, Logan can push the CEO to talk with me, and I can figure out the truth. Maybe Logan can fix
Yeah,
it
timeshare
if there's
VTuber
something wrong. And you can see Logan responds to me. He says, gonna push Ryan to talk to you. Again, appreciate it, man. Now, I don't hear back from Ryan or Logan about this, so after a while, I follow up again. I say, let me know if Ryan plans on talking. A lot of nasty stories still out there about Liquid Marketplace, embezzlement, etc., and he's dodged meeting me already once. Now, obviously, the most shocking part of this is the word embezzlement. I need to make it clear. This is not an accusation. I am not accusing Logan Paul or Liquid Marketplace of wrongdoing.
Okay.
I brought it up in our texts because it is my job to investigate unverified claims. That's the
Well, he also used the quotation marks. Then he said embezzlement like an accusation. He has to cover everything, man.
whole point of me wanting to meet with the CEO, but I was stonewalled. Logan never replied, despite me reminding him again via email 5 months later that I wanted to talk to Ryan about, quote, embezzlement and, quote, potential fraud. Once again, not accusing anyone of wrongdoing. I'm simply doing my job at the time to chase down rumors and unverified claims. Without concrete proof, I would have never talked about any of this. But on June 19th, 2024, things changed because the Ontario Securities Commission revealed a Liquid Marketplace investigation where they accused Liquid Marketplace of being a multi-layered fraud, taking in $2.7 million from the sale of these fractionalized collectibles. The platform allegedly did not do exactly what it promised. Some of the blockchain tokens did not even mint. But even worse was the allegation that approximately $3 million
Oh, that's serious. That means the Fed got onto them.
was
They
misappropriated
didn't mint
from
them.
$10 million they raised of investor funds. This is a very similar claim to the one I had tried to verify. Ryan Bahadori, the guy I tried to speak to, was accused of, quote, making hidden payments to shell corporations
Oh my god. Yeah, I just have like Shell Corpo in the Bahamas. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it, feds. Shh.
without any
Classic.
legitimate business purpose, as were two other of the founders. And Ryan was accused of, quote, using company credit cards to buy high-end fashion, expensive jewelry and watches, personal health, and luxury spa services. If only there was someone who could have investigated.
Chat, if you bought the VTuber model timeshare, I totally wouldn't spend it on cruises or anything. And pretty bags. Promise!
this sooner. Now, it is really important to say
Nah, I'm not
Logan
into that,
Paul
but for
is
real.
not accused by the OSC. Only 3 of his co-founders and his company is. But given the history, I had questions. After all, Logan's promotional video about Liquid Marketplace is still up. And the reason many people cared about Liquid Marketplace at all was arguably Logan Paul. So
Yeah.
here were my questions.
He's so good at advertising his stuff. He caters to kids, and now because he's been around for so long, those kids are growing up with a little bit of money. It's been like 10 years. Yeah, I think his first videos that started popping up was 10 years ago. Now he's transitioned into scamming kids out of their money.
And as I read this, it's important to
long con
correct.
grooming, yeah.
I say Liquid Marketplace got accused of embezzlement. Technically, the OSC alleged misappropriation of funds. Those are similar. They're not the same. So I wanted to correct that. But here's what I asked. Quote, did you take any action on hearing these allegations over a year ago? Did you get approached by the Ontario Securities Commission? And is it true that Liquid Marketplace lied about their claims of insurance, appraisals, and co-ownership as the Ontario Securities Commission alleges? You can see I gave him 24 hours to respond on June 26th at 2:03 p.m. And I was promptly sued June 27th at 11:28
Oh, that's convenient.
a.m. with roughly 3 hours to spare. Now I want to be clear. I don't know the answers to the questions I sent. Maybe Logan secretly whistleblew to the OSC when I first went to him. I don't know. That's why you ask questions as a reporter. But now the story is not about those questions. It's about why I was sued immediately after asking them and threatened if I reported about Liquid Marketplace in a way they didn't like. This is not how I wanted this.
Yeah, that is really telling. It might have also been set up beforehand, and then they decided to strike right then and there. They said, okay, fuck it. He's on to us. The Ontario Security Commission is on to us. We need to respond, and now we're going to bleed him dry.
Story to come out because there's still so much we don't know and so much I can't say now for legal reasons. Maybe Logan's totally innocent. Maybe he surrounded himself with scumbags who defrauded his fans. Maybe he'll do a refund for this project. I don't know because I never got the chance to find out. I tried to investigate, but I was stonewalled and sued when I asked questions.
Yep,
Make no mistake though,
classic.
this investigation is still ongoing, and you can reach me at the email below if you were affected. I will release my full investigation when it's appropriate because even if Logan doesn't want to answer questions, it doesn't mean I have to stop asking them. So in summary, Logan's lawsuit is not about my original reporting into CryptoZoo. Even if you take this lawsuit on its own without context, it's an argument over Logan not refunding victims in full. It's Logan insisting he's not to.
Wait, go back. How much did you offer for refund with what he made? Oh my god. Yeah, he offered 2.3 million, but he made 18 million. And you want to know why? He gave a cap on like $200 per person who would sign up for the quote unquote like refund / buyback. It's so scummy. There was people that lost $80,000. There was a guy that lost everything. As stupid as they may be, I think that he shouldn't be allowed to do this.
It's Logan insisting
Yeah,
he's not to blame.
80,000.
It's all his business
Even
partners'
more.
fault. But I don't think that aligns with the publicly known facts. That's my opinion. For years, Logan has controlled CryptoZoo, and yet
Yep.
the game is still not out. Logan is now blaming the government for that instead of himself. And he also blames me for losing his good reputation, but you can't lose something you never had. Not to mention,
Ooh, destroyed. Yeah. Yeah, I never respected him after the fact of like the whole Japan thing in the forest. I don't know why people still buy into this. It just shows that everywhere in the world there's a sucker out there waiting to get played, chat.
Logan is arguably richer than ever, and he's on the
Sad.
record finding my reporting thorough and good-hearted. So this defamation lawsuit feels frivolous even on the surface. But if you dig deeper, there's an even more compelling story, which I personally believe, where the goal is to crush new investigations while taking revenge on old ones. In this version, Logan might not even care about winning. Legal battles are expensive, and in the world of money, he's got me beat. So he can try to silence me by weaponizing the law. He can sue me for doing my job. He can sue me for asking questions, and he can sue me for asking for refunds. But it's going to backfire because I think it reveals Logan as a bully rather than someone who's truly sorry. Because Logan may be a master at convincing people he's changed, but I'm convinced it's the follow-through where things go wrong. You know, the actually changing part. There was a
I don't know, man. I get so tired of hearing this, and it gets tiring because I'm like terminally online. People like this don't change overnight, and usually it takes years, and if not, they just never change in the first place. They just want to keep having all their money all to themselves. They want to keep scamming people until they essentially go to jail. Like, it's just, he won't change. He's always been like this. Since day one, since he was a kid, when he used to live with his parents and made YouTube videos. It's the same with people who don't have money, chat. Even, look, let's strip all the money away from, like, Logan Paul. People like this exist in real life where you work, where you breathe, where you shit, where you sleep. It's just... Yeah, I would almost argue it's genetic. You can't change, like, there's always going to be scumbags in the world. Even if you're poor.
time where even I believed Logan was going to fully refund victims. That's why I was so nice to him and tried to help despite him threatening to sue me. But when it came time to pay up, Logan chose a minority refund and to fight the rest of the victims in court who wanted their money. And when I complained about that,
weird.
Logan went from sorries and thank yous to lawyers and I'm suing you real quick. The irony is, it was that same initial belief in Logan's capacity to change that also made me bring up Liquid Marketplace to help stop potential problems. And yet here we are. The company is now accused of being a multi-layered fraud by the OSC. And the CEO, who I tried to talk to multiple times, is alleged to have misappropriated money. This is despite me trying to talk to Logan directly many times as he asked.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me personally, not
But he did!
my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven.
Well, I did try to reach out.
Oh my god, man. I hope Coffee wins. People need to help him out, man. This shit is no joke. So if he has 5 lawyers and if you average it out to $2,000 an hour and he has to pay them $10,000 an hour, like, my god, that's gonna be so much money. He's gonna be pissing away so much money just to beat up CoffeeZilla with a lawsuit that's probably not gonna even hold up in court, to be completely honest.
Personally, and I got sued and threatened a day later. That, I think, says a lot about Logan's supposed change and his belief in accountability. Maybe the person he really believes in accountability for is not himself, but me, specifically when I try to get accountability from him. If you want to support this lawsuit, the best way is CoffeeZilla.store. You have 14 days. Or you can support on Patreon. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.
I didn't even know that CoffeeZilla was around for a while. I think he's been making videos for like 6 or 7 years, but he really popped off recently. Wow. He has great lawyers to pair with? I hope so, man. I hope so. That was enjoyable, chat. If you got the money, or if you want to, go check him out. He should not get bullied. He's a really good internet journalist. And I don't mean that like in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. Because internet journalism is usually pretty cringe. He's one of the few that does his job and he's really nice.